21 days. That's how long we've been told it takes to form or break a habit. But the problem is getting there in the first place. Welcome to the channel. My name is Nick, also known as Dunnderhead over on Twitch. Let's talk about how creating and removing friction can help you create lasting habits. Now, the concept of creating and removing friction for me has 3 key points. Now, these 3 key points are level of difficulty, length of time, and setting boundaries. Now, as all of these imply, level of difficulty being as easy or as hard as it is to get a task done, length of time being how long or not it takes to complete a task, and setting boundaries being when or where a task can or cannot be completed. Now, it is a lot easier to add new habits than it is to break old ones. So let's talk about creating friction first. By making things harder to do or making them harder to access, this is changing the level of difficulty in order to complete the task or do the habit. Some examples of this are having to put something further away from you, like putting a snack on the top shelf, or putting a physical barrier in between you and the habit, like locking away your phone in a case so you don't doom scroll all day. A simple example from my life is I'm actively trying to decrease my soda intake, so I've considered moving my mini fridge out into the living room or the kitchen so I don't have easy access to it. Now, the next way to create friction is by adding length of time to complete a task. An example is like having to set something up or put it away after, so you have to set it up again the next time you use something. For me, that would be like a tripod for shooting a video, or having to put away my gaming console so I don't have ready access to it as soon as I decide I want to play something. And another example of this is by adding extra steps to a task. In order for me to have a snack, I have to go out into the kitchen and then grab a bowl and put the snack into the bowl, then put the snack away in the cupboard, and then I can finally eat the snack. It's little things that make a big difference in creating friction. Now, setting boundaries can be used in a couple of different ways. The couple of ways that I'm talking about are by limiting yourself and certain habits to certain places or certain times. You're not only limiting access to that habit, but you're creating discipline around time management. Some examples of this are only being allowed to eat at meal times, or only being allowed to bring play items or fun activities in certain areas of the house or certain areas of your room. Now, some real life examples that I'm trying to utilize to create friction in my life are like removing apps from my phone so I'm not constantly doom scrolling. And the only way that I can get access to those apps is I moved them over to my iPad, which is a lot bigger and chunkier. In order for me to have access to them, I have to carry this thing around instead. And another is only allowing myself a soda at certain times of the day, which that one isn't working so well, but I digress. Now let's talk about removing friction. Creating friction is used to limit and break habits, whereas removing friction is meant to form and maintain new habits. Now, the lazy way for me to explain removing friction would be to tell you that it's pretty much just doing the exact opposite of what you would do to create friction. But I am also going to give you some examples. Now, when addressing level of difficulty when removing friction, the easy answer is make it simpler. I understand that that's not as easy as it sounds, because if we could make everything easy in our life, then we would. But ways to do that are by keeping the tools or the habit closer to you, making it easier to access. If you wanted to work more and you wanted to get more work done, put your work area in a place that is easily accessible. Keep your desk clear in order to make it easier to access. And when addressing time or length of time when removing friction, you can decrease setup time by keeping things set up. Or another way to be able to do that is by doing things in smaller amounts of time or shortening the task. Basically, batching items or batching tasks is a great way to do this. When I work for 3 hours a day on YouTube videos, whether that's scripting, recording the video, or editing. I try to do everything in batches and in smaller batches so I'm not burning myself out over time. If you're working on a project, cut it into steps so that way you just do one step at a time, and that allows you to be able to shorten the length of time and make it less of a burnout activity and more of I'm going to work on this step and then take some time in between, work on this next step, take some time in between. You're giving yourself not only time to think about what you need to do for the next step, but also you're preventing burnout by doing the whole thing all in one go. And simply setting boundaries to remove friction is separating work from play. If you keep things on your desk that are distracting for you. So in my case, it was magic cards. If I kept all of my toys and tools and things that I enjoy playing with on my desk, that was just something that was taking my time away. It was distracting me. So it was making it harder for me to get things done. Keeping my workspace neat and tidy, keeping it clean so I don't have to waste all of my momentum and motivation that I have to record a video or edit on cleaning everything up and organizing my desk before doing so, and then just not having the momentum or the motivation to do anything after that. Some examples of me removing friction from my life include I've gotten rid of clothing and dishes in order to have a smaller amount of them to do, so that way when it's time for me to wash and fold clothing or wash and fold the dishes. Yeah. So when it's time for me to wash the dishes or fold my laundry, I have less to do, and it doesn't cause me to look at this massive amount of things and just not want to get them done. Creating and removing friction in our lives can be a huge factor in making or breaking habits. And I want to remind you that you're not alone in the struggle to create, maintain, or break new habits. Everyone has things to work on, and each and every one of us has something that we can improve on. I also want you to remember that if you're trying to improve, then you are improving, and I'm proud of you for it. If you have any questions or if you'd like to chat with me live, I stream on Twitch. You can come on by and watch me play games the wrong way. And if I don't see you, have a wonderful day.